If you ask me which is the biggest and most important discoveries or invention of our all time, probably I would say electricity. But if you confine me in just 20th century, my answer would be internet.
And I guess you all agree on this. If you don't, congratulations on peaceful life. Well, it was 1st January 1983 which was officially considered as birthday of internet. It means our chum buddy of all of us recently turned 42 years old. And trust me, our buddy is still in his toddler age only. Hello everybody, my name is Pushkar Kant and today we are going to discuss a significant event happened back in early 90s, the rise of internet, the infamous .com boom and its burst.
It all comes down to computers communicating. And in fact, that's already happening on something called the internet that
never before seen on the US markets. Traders and investors shell-shocked.
Saw it, didn't you? It was down some.
Why? How come?
I don't know.
Bad day. Bad day for you.
.com crash was like a tsunami which literally wiped off all the new tech companies of those days. But in that tsunami also, few tech companies emerged as a strong swimmer, and today they are tech giant. We will try to understand the trait and attribute of those strong swimmers, what these companies did differently than others who drowned in this .com crash. It was early 70s with invention of first microprocessor by Intel when computer became common in homes. By 80s the personal computer became popular, but it was internet which made this personal computer powerful. Well, of course it was not similar situation if I talk about India. In 80s we Indians still into fixing our basics right and growing at our own pace. If you retrospect for important events, BJP was formed in 1980, SLV3 successfully launched from Sriharikota, Infosys founded in Pune in 1981, Doordarshan started testing of a color television broadcast. India won its first ever Cricket World Cup. Coming back to the internet service, India was a decade behind from Western countries. Our first publicly available internet service was in 15th August 1995. Meanwhile, internet service was growing rapidly. There are many web browsers emerged like a www, World Wide Web, Airways, Voila www, and many more. But in 1993, web browser named Mosaic made the internet popular.
As internet popularity grew, so do the computer access. A report says computer access grew from 10% to 55% in US from 1985 to 2000. This was the period internet-based business emerged as a new category in pool. Back in those days, it was a whole new thing. With a click of a button, customer can place order, service provider on internet can get businesses.
Investors are really optimistic and excited on these new category of a business. They started to invest on them just by seeing .com behind their names. And vice versa, these investment given boost to so many new techies to get into the .com industry and develop new websites to meet the need for diverse customers. According to a report between 1991 to 1995, it was around 23,500 new websites developed. But from 1995 to 1996, it was around 1000% growth. It was a boom of a website. But here is the catch. The new startups targeting very limited customers. Of course, online users are growing, but still it was a niche audience to entertain. It means supply was more than demand. But ignoring all the fundamentals, investors, market, public have a great hope on this .com since it was new and of course it had a great potential. Adding cherry on the top for those .com market which skyrocketed the hopes and hype, on 9th August 1995, a 18-month-old company, Netscape, went public.
Go online at work or all working at home? Next time you're on the internet, go to the new Netscape.com. Faster searches, instant messaging, a customized start page. The new Netscape, power and ease of use. It's free at Netscape.com.
The IPO, which was opened of $28, by the end of the day it got tripled and close to $75. The mind-boggling leap off of the Netscape established the perceptions anything and everything with the .com in the name is the magic lamp with Genie. Average IPO return in first day was around 17% in 1996, which increased to 58% in 1999 for non-internet company, but for the .com companies, the return was 89%. Market gone crazy on these .com companies. Investors, publics, all are overlooking the business models and fundamentals and putting their monies by just seeing .com in their name. It ended up being trendy to invest in these .com companies. It actually created a FOMO around the investors, those who are pragmatic and taking decisions based on the fundamentals. And this FOMO within the investor lead to a kind of a domino effect for the .com investment. In 1999, there are around 457 IPO listings and most of them are .coms and all went successful. By the way, these IPO listings, market investments I'm talking about in context of Nasdaq. It is a stock exchange of a US. It is same like what we do have in India, like a BSE and NSE. The immediate plunge of .com investment in 1999, Nasdaq index reached all-time high 4,069 points, which was at 751 points 5 years back in 1995. It was like Titanic cruising at its top speed, having no clue big iceberg ahead. The very first time the investors in the .coms got agitated when we are about to enter year 2000, the millennium. Why? Because of a Y2K problem. There was a fear in computer world because of a Y2K problem. Whole ecosystem of a computer could collapse. But fortunately, nothing happened such, and .com wave stayed strong. But situations are going to be worse in coming days. Just after the month we entered year 2000, in February 2000, that time chairman of a Federal Reserve Bank, Alan Greenspan, announced the need of a rise in interest rate. All the .com investors was skeptical about this announcement, but no one was clear how the higher borrowing cost and interest rate would affect the mammoth .com investment. Then another big blue came. On March 2000, Nasdaq hits all-time high, that is 5,132 points, and just after 3 days, on 13th March 2000, Japan announced they are into recession. Nobody got time to process what exactly happened. Since Japan was a big tech market, Japan recession news spread like a wildfire and it triggered sell-off of all vulnerable stock, and .com was vulnerable. Nail in the coffin was when on March 2000, Federal Reserve Bank, as per earlier announcement, raised the interest rate. Nasdaq crashed horribly 39% in 2000 alone, and it was the fourth biggest loss in history. That was a moment only when the investors, analysts and experts looks into the numbers and fundamentals for all .com investment. But it was too late. All the hope and hype's gone. Genie left the magic lamp empty.
The Titanic, which was cruising at its top knot, hit the iceberg badly and it started to sink inch by inch.
The coming year was also not kind. 9/11 attack in 2001 and several major accounting scandals worsened the crisis.
By October 2002, Nasdaq has lost its almost 78% of its peak value
and returned to 1,114 points, which was same as year 1995. This was the era of .com boom and its burst, but the million-dollar questions why we are here is in that same era, many internet-based business came, and because of this .com turmoil, most companies gone bankrupt like Pet.com, Boo.com, eToys, but few survived like Amazon, eBay, Cisco and many. We will try to understand what special they did in that .com chaos, how they pulled through this and became superheroes in their sectors. I will primarily take one of the most successful companies for this case study, Amazon.
This is the first office of Amazon.com Inc. And over here, this is my desk here. And that's the fax machine, as you can see over there. See this big orange extension cord? This is one of the contraptions we have to have because there's not enough power in this room, so we have to bring in some extra circuit breakers.
Amazon was founded in 1994, which was a prime era when dot-com boom was thriving. In holistic view, Amazon was looking just like another dot-com company who are selling their product or services online. But at the micro level, they are distinct from other dot-com companies. Amazon was back then an online bookstore. So what was it about the books that was different from pets and fashion? It turned out the difference wasn't their product. It was their accounting, specifically in the way in which they use something called cash conversion cycle. You must be wondering, what is cash conversion cycle? Well, the cash conversion cycle is simply a measure of how quickly you get paid for product you sell.
Imagine you have a company which makes headlamp for any automotive companies, let's say Volvo.
You buy parts which is required to make a headlamp like lamp, bezel, reflectors from your supplier. You make headlamp in 1 year and sell it to Volvo, and then Volvo pays you for the headlamp. The time it takes you to make and sell the headlamp is your day's inventory. The amount of time between sale to Volvo and receiving payment from them is your day's receivable. And finally, it's important to remember that you too have to pay your suppliers by replacing that bills in your account payable. This period of time is your day payable. And from this, we can determine your cash conversion cycle: days inventory plus days receivable minus days payable. This is the gap between the time you pay for your supplies and receive payment from your product. You will need to finance this gap either from your own cash reserve or by taking loan from the bank. This can be costly and it can reduce the flexibility in your business. This brings us back to Amazon. Amazon sell its product largely to their retail markets and consumer. Those consumers pay with debits or credit cards, and those companies paid Amazon's more or less immediately. That kept their days receivable extremely low, near zero. By managing their inventory well, Amazon kept their days inventory low as well, only few days. Beyond that, like most businesses, they receive credit from their suppliers, let's say 30 days for our math. That means Amazon had a negative cash conversion cycle. Means that Amazon was time traveling. They received payment for the things they sold before they had to pay them. Amazon was able to use this infusion of a cash to grow their businesses. As their business become bigger, the cash flow from their negative cash conversion cycle become larger. Size and influence allowed them to press their suppliers for better terms, giving them more days to pay. The negative cash conversion cycle not only allowed Amazon to escape the dot-com crash, its wild success propelled it to become one of the most largest company in the world today.
So that's it from my side. Hope you like this content and it's added value to you. If you like this kind of content, please, I encourage you to please subscribe this channel. Thank you.
I'm a T-Rex in a digital world, roaring through circuits, watch my dreams unfurl with every